Tottenham fans. I just finished watching a clip of Ange Postecoglou speaking to his players after that semi-final win versus Bodo Glimt. And it was quite inspiring to watch, and I'm glad that they shared it, because some of the things he was saying, like how the players all stuck together when things were going really badly wrong, when everyone was against them, they stayed together as a team, they stayed bonded, and they still believed in what Ange was trying to do. None of them wavered, none of them looked uninterested. They all wanted to be part of it, and they all have been part of it. And the way he mentioned the players that couldn't be there that night and said that they all contributed, and they're just as important factor as anyone else, it was just everything he said was inspiring. And the way he said, enjoy it tonight, but as soon as we wake up in the morning, we need to switch on, concentrate. We've got 2 weeks to prepare, and we're going to go out and we're going to go and try and win this Europa League. And for me, it got me thinking, if Ange does win this Europa League, we can't sack him. We really can't. Our objectives at the beginning of the season would have been either win a trophy or finish in the top four, or both. And winning the Europa League, he's achieved the objectives that we would have set at the beginning of the season. Yes, you can argue and factor in that the season's been poor in the league, but there has been reason why that's happened. There's not been that many people that many teams that have had the amount of injuries we've had, but at the same time to key players. At one stage, we had 9 first teamers out at the same time. You can't say that for many other teams. And at the same time, we was one of 2 teams, it was us and Liverpool, that were in 4 cup competitions at the time. So we were playing 2 games a week when other teams were getting rests in between. We just wasn't. We was playing Europa League, League Cup, Premier League games, constant, one after the other, and injuries were falling. Every single game someone dropped, and new other people had to come in, and then they weren't match sharp because they haven't been playing, so they've been brought in, and then it just goes round and round and round, and then you start losing, and then confidence starts dropping, and then even the players that have been injured that come back, they're coming into a team with less confidence, and it just snowballs. And I've done a video about this before, but it just snowballs. It's not just the injuries, it's the aftermath of all the injuries that can really rock your season. And I think towards the last, I'd say 5 or 6 games now in the league, we have been concentrating on the Europa League, and that's going to, cause us to drop more points. Another factor as well, I think Van de Ven and Romero are 2 best centre-backs in the club who are vital in our performances. They really are. And they've only played 14 or 15 games together this season, and we're heading towards 60 games this season. So you take that, your 2 best central defenders out, and then you've got to add, obviously we had your doggy out, our left back, we had our goalkeeper out, we had Bentancur out for a lot of the time, we had Solanke out, we had Maddison out for some times, we've had Sonny out, we've had so much inconsistency in our team. It's no wonder the league form is failing at the moment. But is he not now, come on, proving to you that he's got his players, he's playing important games, and he's getting results, and he's not just getting results, he's easily getting these results. And I mean, we were so comfortable against Bodo away, and no team for the last year and a half has said that. When they've gone to Bodo, and some good teams have gone there, Lazio, Olympiacos, Besiktas, Porto, they've all gone there, and they've all got battered near enough. So to go there and just completely control them, completely control the game, it's the calmest I've been in a long time watching Spurs. And in an important game, and not be worried. It was a very, very dominant display, and that's all down to Ange's tactics and the way he approached the game, and his calm approach and his precise approach, and telling the players exactly what he wanted from them. They seem to get it. They seem to be really, really behind him. And if the players are all behind him still, even after all that adversity, and the players are still behind him, the players still want to play for him, that must mean something. It's got to mean something. If Ange goes on and wins this trophy, we can't sack him. We have to give him the next season. He's going to be like only the third manager to win a Europa League, a UEFA Cup, a European Cup for Spurs. Third manager. We've been around for 140 years now, 143 years or something like that. And 3 managers have done it if he does it. It baffles me if you want him sacked. All we've wanted for a long, long time. When he finished 5th last season, everyone said, yeah, but he needs to win a trophy. He came in to win trophies. So 5th wasn't good enough last season, but now we're not doing well in the league, but we're doing well in the cups. You want to sack him? It baffles me. It really does baffle me. He's a proven winner. He's won everywhere he's gone, and now he's in a final of the Europa League with Spurs. He's also got us to a semi-final, by the way, through a really injury-struck period that we had. And we had to play a full-strength Liverpool with half our team hanging because they've been playing twice per week for God knows how long, and most of the team were injured. Yes, we got battered in the end, but that was going to happen when you're playing Liverpool, and it still got us to a semi, and we still won the first leg as well. So we didn't do too bad. Let's say we give him next season, and he wins Europa League, we give him next season, and he loses 6 of the first 10 games. Yeah, and then yes, let's have that conversation. Let's say, look, and especially if all his players were fit, he had his full squad, he's got his new players in, he's got everything's going for him, but we've lost 6 out of the first 10 games. Yes, we can have that conversation. Say, look, he just can't hack it in the Premier League. We can have that conversation. I'm not saying he's immortal and he'll never be sacked, but I'm just saying we have to be fair. We want a trophy. If he delivers that trophy and Champions League football and a chance to play in the Super Cup, which could mean we could win another trophy, we can't sack him. And I don't think, and there's a narrative going around that Ange Postecoglou would win this Europa League and then leave. I don't think he will. I think he's going to have unfinished business. I think he wants to prove how great he really is, and I think he will go for more. And if he comes and if he gets the backing from Levy, I really think that gets 3 or 4 really good players in to help these younger players through as well. Tottenham, with a bit more luck with injuries as well, could really have a really good season next season. You can see Ange knows how to change his tactics. He just hasn't been able to change his tactics with lack of players available to do it during the season. Now he's got the players available. He seems to be a very good tactician, to be honest, and everything he's done in Europa League has been absolutely spot on. Away at Frankfurt, loads of people said we wouldn't get a result there. We should have won at home. We've ruined our chances. He got through easily. We won by 2 goals at Bodo, but that wasn't good enough for most Spurs fans. They said that it's not going to be enough. They're going to beat us at their home ground. It was a stroll, to be honest, when we played Bodo. It was a stroll. 5-1 we won on aggregate in a semi-final. This is Ange in control. Remember all you people as well that said you wanted Ange gone before the Alkmaar game so we have a chance of winning the Europa League. Well, we've got a chance of winning the Europa League now, and we kept Ange. So, sometimes we don't know everything. And the board must have known something about Ange because they were brave enough to keep him on too. I think Ange deserves a little bit more respect than he's getting. he's really turned. He can really turn this season around by winning that Europa League. It will give us Champions League football, a chance to win the Super Cup. Revenue will come in, and we'll have that long-awaited trophy that we've been waiting for at least 17 years, 41 years if you count the Europa League. And there's also a narrative that Ange doesn't improve players. Well, for me, it's very, very clear to see he's definitely improved the players' mentalities. There was no way I'd say in the last 5 years, but after Poch, that Spurs had the mentality to go away to these European grounds and get victory. Even under Jose Mourinho, Dynamo Zagreb, we went 2-0 up in the first leg and lost 3-0 in the second leg. We was even 0-0 after 60 minutes at Zagreb and still fell apart. It was Spursy. You have to admit, Ange Postecoglou has taken the Spursy out of these players, and their mentality is very, very strong now. They were very hard to beat in Frankfurt and impossible to beat against Boda. So he has improved players, but I think he's improved them mentally. They're mentally strong now, and now he can start developing these players even more going into next season. I think that it would be crazy to win a Europa League and not carry on that momentum into the next season with Ange. I think it'd be crazy to start all over again and start building under a new manager. Maybe some of the players here he don't want, and then he'll have to bring his own players in, and we start from the beginning again, and 18 months later we might say we don't want him anymore. It would be crazy to do that when you've got a manager who already knows the players, already knows who he wants to stay, how he wants to play. They all know how he wants to play. They're all behind him. They all obviously back him, and they want to play for him. So it would just be illogical to not keep him. So I still think even if he didn't win the Europa League final, I think he's shown me enough now that he can get over the line. He's got that in his locker. He really has. And because of how Spurs have been in the last couple of rounds, I'm very confident we can beat Man United. But Man United are a completely different beast now. They are. They're going to be a lot harder to beat than they were the 3 of previous times we played them. They will be harder to beat. They are more organised. They're more just defensively structured. Their pressing is much better. But I just think if Spurs play the way they've been playing, just shutting out the strikers, shutting out the wingers, and just playing on the counter, I do think Spurs will win this Europa League. And that's down to Ange and Ange's tactics and the way he's adapted in each and every game that people say he can't do. So if your problem with Ange was his tactics, he's shown he can use his tactics. If your problem with Ange was you didn't think he was a winner, he could only win in other leagues, well, he's showing now he's in the final of Europa League, so he's showing he can win here too. So I think he would deserve the minimum to start the first 10 games of next season if he wins this Europa League. And I don't think that we will start badly. If we had a full team, I don't think, and brought some players into, he knows now that he needs a much bigger squad. He knows now that he can't afford to overplay certain players. He's learnt so much from this season as well, that all of this knowledge from this season and this camaraderie that he's built with this team, and they're all behind him and they all want to do well for him, you can't build that up and then just throw it all away. You really can't. We just can't sack him right now. I really don't think it would be the right thing to do. Let me know in the comments what you think of Ange. Thank you for watching, and come on, you Spurs.